When it comes to ancient history, India's importance in it cannot be overstated, friends. The history, as we know of today, is only made up of things that happened after the great flood of Noah. And if you want to know what exactly happened right after the flood, I can't think of a resource which is richer than Indian Vedas, even though I know that Vedas were compiled much later and they have been altered quite a bit and all that. And yet, they contain certain characters and incidents that even Indians don't know in the right context. However, if one has a sound biblical knowledge, it is a totally different ballgame because the Bible has the unbroken genealogy of humans starting from Adam all the way to Jesus. And with this kind of knowledge, one can easily place people and events at the right spots in the timeline of humanity. Furthermore, the Bible states that after Noah's flood, the whole earth was replenished by the descendants of Noah's three sons, namely Shem, Ham, and Japheth. However, how many of us know that all these three sons crisscrossed in the land of India in the early days after the flood of Noah? Now, when the civilization started re-emerging after Noah's flood, the descendants of Ham occupied most of the riversides, which included the Nile, Euphrates, Tigris, and Sindh River regions. This drove all the rest of the people toward the Gangetic plains and the banks of the now dried up river Saraswati of India. There in the Gangetic plains, Noah's first son Japheth, known as Yayati by the Indians, had a small kingdom which he handed over to his son Puru as he continued his pursuit of sexual pleasures. Now, it may sound preposterous that I make this claim, but there is evidence for such a thing in the Hindu epic Mahabharata, which is supposed to be the history of ancient India. Adi Parva section of Mahabharata states that there existed a practice of free love among the denizens of Uttarakuru, like the one followed by the birds and the beasts, which was not regarded sinful as it was stated to have the approval of the rishis and the sanction of antiquity. Furthermore, we can also see in Mahabharata, Kundi Devi, the mother of the Pandavas, had 5 sons through 5 different entities because of such practice. And Noah was watching all this. He knew that it is not good for his eldest son Japheth's lineage to go in decline like this. So he brought Shem, his righteous son, to rule over them. Indians know him as King Bharat, where Bharat is a title which simply meant a blaze or brilliance. Meanwhile, his youngest son Ham, who was with his son Cush, made some wrong moves in Africa. He got booted out by Dionysus and he came to India, where he tried to take away Shem's kingdom. This is clear from Hindu Puranas as well as the Jain literature. Meanwhile, Dionysus pursued Ham and came to India, the details of which are found in the Greek epic Dionysiaca. And Ham fled to the mountainous regions of Bactria, and there he became the Zoroaster of the Ahura Mazda worshippers. Historian Berosus confirms this. Soon afterwards, Ham's son Cush, known as Kashyap or Dasharatha by the Indians, along with Krishna and Vishwamitra, also came to India. Of these, Vishwamitra ensnared Shem and destroyed him and his family. This is the famous story of Raja Harishchandra that every Indian knows. In fact, when silent movies came to India, the first ever Indian movie produced was Raja Harishchandra. But still, the Indians don't know that Harishchandra, being the son of Manu, was their beloved King Bharat. After King Bharat's demise, one of the sons of Shem, named Sudas, came to power, and he curtailed the evil influence of Vishwamitra. So, Vishwamitra formed a coalition of more than 10 kings to defeat Sudas. This is when the biblical Mizraim, whom the Indians call Indra, came to help Sudas and got him the victory in the battle of Dasarajanya, and thus the history moves on. Now, in the beginning of this video, I mentioned about Noah appointing Shem to rule over Japheth's tribe of Purus. This action led to resentments, which led to many battles. In all these battles, the defeated parties moved further and further toward the west, all the way to Albania. And this migration laid the foundation for the formation of the Indo-European languages. And Abraham, the father of the Jewish, Christian and Islamic religions, was a direct descendant of Shem, who was the King Bharat of India. And so was Jesus Christ, whom I am a follower of. In this manner, ancient India is very important in the biblical as well as the secular history of our world, friends. If you want to know more on this subject, please go through my videos. If you like them, do press the like buttons, share them, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.